After riots in St. Paul and Baton Rouge over the deaths of 2 black men shot by police and the deadly sniper shooting of 5 Dallas police officers, police across the U.S. have been under increased pressure. Listen.
We're asking cops to do too much in this country. We are. We're just asking us to do too much. Every societal failure, we put it off on the cops to solve. Schools fail, give it to the cops. 70% of the African community is being raised by single women. Let's give it to the cops to solve that as well. That's too much to ask. Policing was never meant to solve all those problems.
Here to weigh in on law enforcement and where we should go from here, we are joined now by Norm Stamper, former Seattle Police Department chief and author of To Protect and Serve. Thank you, sir, for joining us. What do you think of what you just heard?
Well, I understand the sentiment, obviously, and as a cop for 34 years, I felt that there were many moments when I was thinking, well, this just isn't our fault. We're not responsible for crushing poverty. We're not responsible for so many of the social ills that afflict certainly inner cities of parts of this country. But I think it is fundamentally wrong to say that we're not responsible, even though people want to give us that job. I think what we are responsible for in law enforcement is building a mutually trusting relationship with the community and working to establish authentic partnerships with the people we serve.
I mean, that's something that a lot of people say, and of course, in theory, it's what you would want. I mean, what would you do differently today that you see not happening in this communities around the country that would work towards that goal?
There are 2 things that I would do. One is to invite citizen participation in just about all aspects of police operations. The police in America belong to the people, not the other way around. It's vital, I think, that citizens be involved in policy making and program development and crisis management. Citizens should be sitting next to police commanders when they're interviewing candidates to be hired for the local law enforcement agency. They should be teaching in the academy. I think it's so important to create normalcy between community and police as partners. Also, I think we're long overdue for setting standards for law enforcement. It's inconceivable to many, myself included, that a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri is held to standards peculiar to that agency, that jurisdiction, while in NYPD or Chicago or Detroit or Newark or any other city, the officers are responding to their own unique police department and not a set of national standards.
This was the police chief. We don't have time to play the soundbite, but this was out of St. Paul, the chief there, saying that it was the first time in his 28 years as a police officer that I've observed the level of violence that was directed towards our public servants. He was really at wit's end and couldn't believe what he was seeing going on. What do you think? I mean, have things gotten worse, in your opinion?
Several things have happened, one of which is we're now seeing the kind of behavior that in the past was only very occasionally witnessed. And by that I mean citizens who picked up newspapers in years past and read the police account of a shooting, for example, would say, well, it's an occupational hazard, it's a tragedy, but I understand why the police officer had to use lethal force. Today, our citizens, white and black, are seeing video coverage, oftentimes accompanied by audio, and it's shocking. It is truly shocking to many people who, in the past, simply accepted the I don't want to say the official line of the police department, but the police department's view of what took place.
It's also different reading about it in a paper days later when things have calmed down, or even the next day, as opposed to seeing the video.
Sure.
Creates a different instant reaction. Norm Stamper, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.